Hi, my friends, and welcome back to Living Inspired with Autism. This is the show for parents of autistic children who want to live their best lives by learning to calm their nervous systems down and really have an amazing relationship with their kiddo through a different kind of energy communication. I'm Antoinette. I'm a life coach for parents of autism. I'm mom to my own son who's on the spectrum. His name is Max. I'm a wife, and I am a woman on a mission to help you find more ease, more joy, and more peace in your days, even when your life feels chaotic. So today, I want to talk about something that really changed my life once I really understood it. And that's thought management. And if you're on Instagram or Facebook, you may have been seeing the videos that I've been putting out each day for the last 5 days about thoughts, about one of the tools that I use to control my thoughts. Now, it sounds a little clinical, the idea of thought management. But what it really means is you learning how to work with your mind instead of feeling like it's constantly working against you. Because when you're parenting autism, there are 1,000 moments in a day that can trigger a spiral of thoughts. The missed bus, the unexpected meltdown, the elopement, the therapy that was supposed to help but just made things worse. Our brains jump in and start telling stories. I can't handle this. Other parents have it easier. I'm not doing enough. What am I doing wrong? And we believe those stories because they sound so true in the moment. And what I want to offer you today, just because your brain thinks something doesn't make it true. It just means that it's practiced. You practice that thought over and over again. Now, I know it may sound strange, but you are not your brain. You are the observer of your brain. You're the one watching if it offers opinions and stories and sentences all day long. Your brain has one main job, and that's to keep you alive. It's scanning constantly for danger, emotional, physical, or social. So when your child has a meltdown in a crowded shop and people start staring, your brain leaps into alert mode. Everyone's looking, everyone's judging. I'm failing. But that's not the truth. That's just a thought that your brain has practiced so many times, it runs automatically. It's like a playlist that you didn't even realize was on repeat. The work of thought management is noticing that playlist. It's catching yourself mid-song and saying, wait, hang on a minute, hang on. Do I really want to keep listening to this? One of the simplest but most powerful ideas that I teach my clients, and this is the tool that I'll be teaching this week, is the model. So firstly, circumstances. We start with circumstances are neutral. Then your thoughts, which you think about those circumstances, they create your feelings. And then your feelings drive your actions. And of course, your actions create your results. That's it. That's the model. And once you see it in action, you can't unsee it. So let me give you an example. Let's say you open your inbox and you see there's an email from your kiddo's school that says, we need to meet about some concerns. That's a circumstance. It's neutral. It's just words on a screen. Now your thought may be, oh no, this is going to be bad. What do they want to talk about? That thought creates a feeling. Maybe it's anxiety or dread, and that feeling drives your actions. Perhaps you avoid reading the rest of the email, or you spend the next 2 hours catastrophizing to figure out what it's going to be about. And then that action creates the result. Perhaps you show up at that meeting on edge already. Maybe you're already defensive and you're already exhausted because you've gone through the scenario or several scenarios in your head. But now just imagine a different thought. Same circumstance, the email still says we need to meet about some concerns. But your thought could be, okay, I can handle whatever it is. That thought creates maybe calm or curiosity. That calm leads you to make notes, to prepare some notes, or to reach out to the teacher with clarity to try and find out what this is all about instead of panicking. And that action creates a completely different result. One where you show up grounded and ready to collaborate. Same email, totally different experience. And that's the power of thought management. Now, before you can change anything, you first have to see what's really going on in your mind. This part takes a bit of practice because most of us don't actually even realize we're thinking. We just think we're seeing the truth. We say, my child is behind. But that's not a fact, that's just a thought. The fact might be, my child reads at a different level than his peers. Everything after that is a story that our brain layers on top. And that's not to blame you, that's just human. We all have thousands of thoughts a day, and most of them are recycled from yesterday. I think there's something like 80 or 90% of the same thoughts from yesterday that we think again today. It's ludicrous. Now, the goal isn't to fight those thoughts, it's just to notice them. You can start with a simple question. What am I making this mean? For example, this therapy isn't working might secretly mean, oh, I haven't found him the right person yet. Or she's not listening to me might actually mean I'm losing control. Once you bring that into awareness, you will have power again because you can choose whether or not to keep believing it. Now, a lot of parents tell me, I understand my thoughts create my feelings, but I can't seem to control my feelings. And I always say, you're not supposed to control them. You're meant to allow them. When a thought triggers a strong emotion, like frustration or guilt or sadness or embarrassment, let it move through your body instead of resisting it. So you can just sit with it and feel it in your body. You can literally say, this feeling is guilt. It feels heavy. It's sitting in my chest. And it's okay. It's safe to feel it. Emotions are just vibrations. And they pass through a lot faster when we stop fighting them. If you've ever tried to push down frustration, it'll only explode later. And you see how resistance works. When we push against emotion, it pushes back. With a vengeance, I might add. But when we let it in, it loosens its grip. And once that emotion settles, your brain is clear enough to choose new thoughts on purpose. And once you've noticed your thoughts and allowed your emotions, you get to decide, what do I want to think on purpose? Your brain is like a loyal employee. It will do whatever job you assign it. If you tell it to look for everything going wrong, it will bring you proof. If you tell it for what's going right, even the small little things, it will find that too. So many of my clients begin with thought patterns like, my life is too hard. I don't have time for myself. Nobody understands. it's lonely. And those thoughts feel true because they've rehearsed them for years and years. But as we work together, they start introducing gentler thoughts. This is hard, and I'm learning to handle it. I can find 5 minutes for myself today. Some people do understand. I'm finding them. I'm lonely, and I can pick up the phone and phone someone. These shifts don't erase the challenges, they just stop adding that extra pain on top of them. So there was a time in my life when I felt like I was permanently stuck in fight or flight because Max was all over the place. He was escaping, he was climbing up stuff. My health was shot and my brain was screaming, "You're not doing enough, you're a bad mother, you're messing this up." And I would lie in bed at night replaying every hard moment of the day. Until one night I realized I'm arguing with my entire life in my own head. So I decided to try something radical. Every time that thought came up, "You're not doing enough," I replaced it with, "You're doing your best and that's enough for today." And first, it felt like fake, but my brain didn't believe me. But I kept practicing it like a muscle. And after a few weeks, something changed. I still had hard days, but my recovery time was shorter. I bounced back faster because I spoke kinder to myself. And that's the gift of thought work. It doesn't make life perfect, but it makes you stronger inside. So let's bring this into your everyday world. When your kiddo refuses to do something, your brain might say, "I'm losing control. This is a disaster." Try softening that to, "This is just today. We're going to try again tomorrow. So what if it takes 5 minutes longer?" And when your partner says, "You're being too protective," instead of thinking, "He doesn't get it," try, "He sees it differently, and that's okay." And when you look around your house and you see toys and crumbs and spit out food and paperwork everywhere, your brain might say, "I can't keep up." What if you tried, "This is just a sign of a full life. We'll get to it in our own time." And these are tiny adjustments, but they create enormous relief because the words you say to yourself are the environment that you live in. Parenting an autistic child means your brain is constantly forecasting. It's protection. But the cost is that we often live in a future filled with imaginary problems instead of present moment, that things that are actually happening right now. Thought management is how we come back home. It's how we stop being swept away by the what ifs and start responding to what is. And here's the beautiful part. When you practice this, your kiddo feels it. They sense your calm. They mirror it. You become the steady ground in a world that often feels really very unpredictable to them. So thought work isn't just self-help. It is co-regulation. It's parenting from peace instead of panic. If this is resonating with you, if you can feel that your brain sometimes runs the show and you want help learning how to take back the wheel, I'd love to work with you personally. Right now, I'm offering a year-long one-on-one VIP coaching experience where we do this work together, quietly, compassionately, and at your pace. You'll learn how to catch those thoughts that create the stress, reframe them into calm, and then build a mindset that just feels spacious again. This is some of the deep inner work that makes everything else, everything in your life, the routines, the advocacy, your kiddos, your career, your relationships, all of it feel lighter. So you can book a free consultation using the link below in the show notes. And we'll talk about what's happening in your world right now, what you want to create, and how I can help you get there. Today, we've talked about thought management, what it is, how it works, and why it matters. We explored how your thoughts create your feelings drive your actions, and your actions shape your results. We looked at how to notice the stories that your brain tells, how to allow your emotions, and how to gently redirect your thinking towards peace and power and possibility. And we reminded ourselves that this isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about noticing when your brain has wandered off and saying kindly, "Hey, you, come back here. We're safe now." The truth is, you can't always change what's happening around you, but you can change how you experience it. And that is the most powerful kind of control you'll ever have. So this week, when your brain starts racing, just take a deep breath, pause, notice the story it's telling, and ask yourself, is this the thought that I want to believe? Because when you learn to manage your thoughts, you learn to manage your peace. And when you manage your peace, everything starts to change. Okay, until next week.